What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Abstract Instincts. My name's Matthew Durbridge, and in this video I want to walk you through my most recent drawing. I'm really pleased with it, and I think it turned out pretty sick if I'm honest. This piece was done using a mix of stippling or pointilism, blackwork, and some crosshatching, and intentionally have some of the sections slowed down. Well, slowed down is relative, right? Slowed down being that they're real time versus the time lapse, right? So you can kind of get a feel for how fast I actually do work, just so you can kind of appreciate the time invested. And speaking of that, here's one of those slowed down sections now. Stippling is not for the faint of heart, and because of that, I wanted to start the piece with the stippling, just so I could get the hard part out of the way first, right? Because sometimes it's easy to just rip the band-aid off, so to speak, and just get this done. Plus, I was kind of concerned about maybe not having the steam to finish this later down the road if I didn't start with it. So in some regards, I was looking forward more to the line work than I was to the stippling, and so this was kind of like, if I get through this, I can do the rest of the piece, which is the fun part. At least that's how I was trying to frame it in my mind. And going into this piece, I had a pretty clear plan in mind, and I knew the general direction that I wanted to take with some of these elements. But sometimes in art, things don't always go according to plan. And as an artist and a craftsman, it's important to know how to create from your mistakes, or working with your mistakes and salvage there. And so this piece is an example of that. For instance, my intent for this circle was to have like a gradient effect from the outside edge, where it would be deeper in color and then fade towards the center. And I had to abandon that plan because at the beginning I unfortunately made some of my dots a little too firm in the center, right in the center, right exactly where your eye focuses, like ultimate disaster. But you make do with what you have and where you're at, and this piece is a perfect example of that. So this is my recovery on that, and I thought it was going to be really neat to do that effect and have like this gradient effect towards the center, and then from the center do something else with another gradient effect. But we'll have to see what that might look like on another future piece. But sometimes it's important to know that if you keep going with a certain plan, that it's kind of doomed to fail, right? Like, especially with something like this, where even at this point in the video, it's like 3 minutes my YouTube video, but by this point I was easily 20 hours in, 10, 20 hours in, and so there's a lot of risk that comes with taking, doing anything that's not part of your plan. And so this next step, this darkening shade is kind of a risk, because right here I could ruin all the work that I've just done. And so you just got to put that out of your mind, because that's always the case with your art, right? There's always a chance that happens. And so don't let that slow you down or make you hesitate, because if you do that, then you're definitely going to make a mistake, right? So just ignore that. Don't think about errors. Every piece of art has an error. The Mona Lisa is not perfect, right? The Sistine Chapel is not perfect. They're great pieces of art, but are they perfect? No. Is this piece perfect? No. Unfortunately, will your piece be perfect? No. I'm sorry to say that, but would that it would be so. But unfortunately, it's not. So don't worry about it. And so this is a part I was really looking forward to, because part of me just really likes to crush line work. Like, it's just super fun. Maybe you can relate, or maybe you can't, but I just really, there's something very pleasing about pushing a pen around or drawing a pen around and making something. Even these shapes that I've already drawn with pencil, it's really fun. Just to try and make the best line you can, and I don't know. I guess I'm just a nerd. I'm just an art nerd, dude. What can you do? And I really felt like this piece needed some solid black areas to offset the really delicate stippling. It kind of gives a nice balance, I feel, especially for the cross hatching and such to come further on in the piece. I think it just kind of helps balance everything. Art needs balance, and so this is the balance to my piece. And a lot of this was done on the fly. I initially thought that maybe I was going to do cross hatching for all of these shapes that I'd drawn, but I pulled back and kind of thought about it for a second. I was like, no, what this piece really needs is some solid black, and those adjustments on the fly are what can really make an awesome piece. Sticking fervently to a plan doesn't always work in art. At least not in abstract, and at least not in my process. It might be different for you in your processes, but for me, it's not beneficial. And like, for instance, these lines here, not every one of these is perfect, and I know they're not going to be, and I'm not stressing about it. I'm just focusing on doing the best line I can regardless. And the end result is quite pleasing, like that natural deviation, those natural fluctuations in the lines. That makes a neat effect, and I like that. But if you don't like repetitive lines over and over and over again, this may not be for you. And I definitely didn't make it easy on myself by choosing to do diagonals. I could have done like horizontal and east-west. That would have been a lot easier in a lot of these shapes. But sometimes the easy route isn't the pleasing route, right? Like, so sometimes you gotta do it the hard way to make a nice piece. And I think in the end, I like that the diagonal was chosen instead of horizontal or east-west. And what's really neat is my camera can't even really pick up this drawing. It's not doing it right, and this has always been a factor for my work. It's something that's always brought me some sort of joy, because it's just kind of cool that like computers can't understand it, and that always makes me laugh. So I dig it. And here we're going for a third layer of cross hatching. The more layers, the darker it looks. And I really wanted this like step down gradient effect. And I actually had further plans for the center, where I was going to do another like stippling layer, and I was going to have like it was going to gradient effect down from the sun element towards the bottom of the page. But I bailed on that because gradient effects are a pain in the butt, and my center element took a different course. If I had done the focaling element, then maybe I would have gone for that. But plans change. But hey, if you've made it this far, I really truly appreciate you. You're the best, and I hope you are having a great day, and I hope you have a great week, great month, a great new year. And I hope you're creating, and I hope this inspires you to create your next great piece. And that I hope you keep, creating and enjoying life. So, wish you all the best. We'll see you on the next episode. Oh, and don't forget to follow, share, all that jazz. So maybe this YouTube algorithm will share my stuff, and I can get myself out there. So yeah, take care.